All right, we are live. So today we do have an update hour planned. We're just gonna relax for a bit and do our normal update Trump stream. We have a summit meet in Korea, so let's see what happened with that.
We have another angle of the room, by the way. Looks like he's not getting his usual entrance theme music. He's getting some presidential theme music as he attends the APEC summit. We expect him to speak about a range of economic affairs. Let's watch live.
I'm thrilled to be back with so many visionary innovators and titans of industry, the most brilliant in the world, actually. So many different locations, and they come from all over, but this is a very special country that I'm in, and the business leaders here at APEC are really fantastic. So many friends, and I want to thank our host at this important summit, President Lee of South Korea. He's a terrific person, and I'm going to be meeting with him this afternoon, and I look forward to that very much. The Republic of Korea is a cherished American friend and a close ally. And as we can see in this beautiful city, it's truly one of the most remarkable nations anywhere on earth. Here in this peninsula, the people of South Korea have forged a miracle of economic development like you rarely see. An industrial and technological powerhouse, and above all, a free society and enduring democracy and a thriving civilization. And I want to congratulate you. Very few places like it. The entire world should be inspired by all that you have achieved, and they study you, and they do so much to understand what you've done, but most of them don't get it. And that's probably good for you. Keep it this way. Most of them don't get it. They want to get it, but it doesn't quite work out for them the same way it works out for you. So that's a great tribute to you. We have some very special people with us today, and I want to thank for the great job he's done, and also for being here, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Marco, you're around here someplace. Where's Marco? Marco, thank you. Man who's doing a fantastic job, who understands the markets maybe better than anybody. Our Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Scott, thank you very much. And somebody that you're dealing with, who you made a very good deal with, because you have very good.
Yeah, what's good? Everybody just now making it in.
But he's pretty good too. Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce. Thank you, Howard. U.S. Trade Representative Ambassador Jameson Greer is a fantastic person. And your career's Minister of Trade, Industry, and Resources, Mr. Jung Kwan Kim, who's an incredible man. Actually,
Here comes the rambling.
tough, however.
If you're smoking, spark up alongside me. Let's see if we can keep up with the word vomit.
They decided not to do that. And so many other distinguished guests are here, so I just want to thank you very much. It's an incredible room. It's a beautiful room, by the way.
Let's see what he said in Korea.
So high up. This place is packed. Thank you. Look at that, we're waving. Thank you very much. But as you know, APEC unites Pacific nations around our growing economies and promoting our shared interests. And today I come with exciting news from one of the largest Pacific nations. We'll call ourselves a Pacific nation. But one of the
See,
largest
YouTube
of
chat
them
is
all,
already
the
getting
United
riled
States
up
of
today.
America. I'm pleased to report to you that this afternoon,
Guys, remember, if you want
4
vertical,
years
it's
of
YouTube. If you want
witness
horizontal, it's
disaster,
Twitch. But
really
YouTube tends to
decline.
have a
America is
better
back, and it's
chat.
stronger
We'll
than
just say
ever
that.
before. We're doing numbers that nobody's ever seen before. We're the hottest country in the world, actually, and I say that with other countries represented, and they admit it. But I do say it very proudly. 1 year ago, our country was in very, very serious trouble. Some people thought our country was dead. Now we're literally sort of an inspiration to a lot of other countries. We are indeed, I use the term hottest country, but we're the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. The United States is blessed with right now, the strongest economy, the strongest borders.
Is that true? I don't think it is.
The strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth. This is a
That's
golden
crazy,
age in a
Billup.
short period of time. I knew we could do it. I didn't
What a
know we were gonna
comment.
do it this quickly. It's a little bit more than 9 months. So in less than 1 year, we've secured commitments for over $18 trillion of new investments. As an example, the previous administration, in 4 years, they did less than $1 trillion. I think much less, actually, and hurt our country very badly. Who would have known? But we're going to be 18, so I figure that we'll
He
probably
talks
be at
fish.
20 or
That's probably the
21, maybe even
funniest
$22 trillion
comment I've
of
ever seen.
investments coming into our country by the end of the first year of my second term. And, you know, we had a tremendously successful first term. We had the strongest economy in history for our country, strongest we ever had. But this is, I think, blowing it away. We have great policy. We have some very good things happening. The stock market, as you know, is set 45 all-time highs.
You guys can't just join in here and say this guy. The YouTube algorithm says that this is what you want.
Week after week, including one just
You have to
yesterday.
spend time in politics
We
streams
set
to get
the,
here.
the record GDP
And I'm not even a
growth in the
politics stream. We
second
spoken.
quarter. And that's with all of the things that we're doing. When they are built in a year and 2 years, we're going to go through the roof. I mean, we're going to see numbers that I don't think I've ever been seen
On my
before.
Riftbound, people are going to be
But
like,
even
this isn't
during this
Riftbound.
period of a little bit of a period of transition, you could go, because I think we're in an economic revolution in America. We went at 3.8%. We're up 3.8% GDP, triple and even quadruple the rate that a lot of people thought we'd be. They thought that during this period that we'd be at a much lower rate. Some people predicted 1.5, and we're going to be very close to 4. The next quarter, we're expected to be at about 4% growth. And after that, I mean, I can't even predict, because when all of these factories that are moving in, the car plants are moving in. Yesterday, I was with Mr. Toyota in Japan.
Mr.
and
Toyota.
He's just announced he's going to spend, they are going to spend $10 billion, and they're going to build new car plants, and they're going to build them.
That's a lot of money
in
on
a number of
cars.
States, about 6 or 7 different states. And we're bringing our car industry back. We're bringing AI. We're leading everybody in AI. We're leading every nation in AI by a lot. In 9 months, we've lifted over 600,000 Americans off food stamps. Wages for workers are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years. And meanwhile, energy prices are down. Gasoline prices are down. Grocery prices are down. Mortgage rates are down, despite the fact that we have an incompetent head of the Fed. He's incompetent. I call him Jerome Too Late. He's always too late.
Jerome Too Late.
Jerome Too Late Powell.
Is he in
He's
South
out of
Korea
there
saying
for a
this? They
couple of
don't.
months.
They don't know what
Maybe
he's
after
talking
that,
about.
We'll appoint somebody that we all like, because we should have the lowest interest rates of any country. Because without us, there are no other countries, really. I mean, the whole thing falls apart. You know, America always had the lowest interest rates, and now we don't do that. We're like number 28. It's ridiculous. And we're a much different country than we were 2 years ago or a year ago even. But you know what? The crazy thing is, in the old days, I call the old days. I'm a little bit old. I'm looking at all these young, brilliant faces. I'm a slight, a couple of years older than you, just a couple of years. But you know, in the old days, when you announced good news, the stock market went up. You announced good news, the stock market would go up. Now, when you announce good news, the stock market goes down, because people say, oh, that's terrible. You're doing well, that's terrible. Interest rates will go up. So they think because of that, interest rates will go up because that. It's inverse to what it should be. We're going to go back to the way it used to be. When we announce good news, the stock markets are going to go up. And that's the way it should be. And we're going to really ride that very hard. And when we announce good news, we're not going to have a Fed that's going to raise interest rates because they're worried about inflation in 3 years from now or something. When we announce good news, we want the stock market to go up, not to go down. And the scourge of inflation,
Sure.
we inherited the worst inflation ever that we've ever had. I inherited from incompetent people, and now we're down to a very low rate of inflation, 2.7%, and it's going to be a little bit lower than that. It's almost a
Bidenopolis
perfect number.
2.0.
Believe it or not, you don't want to have zero. You want to have like 1% to 2%, and we're very close to that number. But we had
Yeah, I know a lot of
inflation
people are
worse
angry
than
about the
last
food
year.
stamps being down. Our government's
But
still shut
factories are
down.
booming in the USA, and manufacturing productivity is rising 5 times faster than it was just 1 year ago. Think of that. Steel production is way up by 155,000 tons a week. Oil production is through the roof by 500,000 barrels a day. And mining of clean, beautiful coal, I call it clean, beautiful coal, is up by 2.6 million tons every single month. And we brought coal back into the picture. What you can do with coal today is incredible. So I call it clean, beautiful. I don't use the word coal, I say, because it's got a little bit of a problem, public relations-wise, the word. So we call it clean, beautiful. My administration's not allowed to use the word coal. They have to say clean, beautiful coal. We've given it a new name. It's a three-name deal. Even semiconductor manufacturing is rapidly returning to the United States. NVIDIA and TSMC have just produced the first state-of-the-art Blackwell chip that was 100% made in the USA. In fact, Jensen, who's an incredible guy.
It's going to be like $6,000.
I think he's around. Somebody said he's here. How is he? Pretty good, right? Got a chip that's like,
How the fuck am I going to put that in my computer?
But he's great. And
try some chicken?
all,
I'm having chicken for dinner tonight.
Tremendous plants in the United States, Arizona, Texas.
Don't be rude.
We're gonna have a big
Yo,
push
Fed
into
for
chip
life.
market just
Or
in the
Ferd? I don't know what that
next
says.
these
Ford?
tremendous strides
Ford
are
for life. Thank you for the
also
sub on
creating
YouTube.
great
Welcome
jobs
in.
for our citizens. 1.9 million more American-born workers are employed today than when I took office 9 months ago. Think of that. Almost 2 million people more American workers. Nobody's ever had numbers like that. And those numbers are going to get much bigger, much better than that when we open these plants that are being built all over, the AI plants. I've never seen plants this big,
Yeah, what's good, Saeed?
Shopping centers, I built a lot of things, but if you spend 250, 300 million, you can build a big shopping center. These people are spending $50 billion to build a building. And I say, what's your product? Information. I said, well, good luck. That's a lot of information you're going to have. But, they're the smartest people in the world are doing it, and they all think it's great. All I can do is make it easy for them. And what I've done, one of the things that I'm most proud of, because I thought of it like
What's my split right now? Everybody in chat, put a green box if you're from the U.S.
It's not, nobody ever thought.
If you're not from the U.S., put like a black box.
And what they need more than anything is electricity.
Or just say it, I guess. I don't know why the fuck we got to use emojis. Half you might not even know how.
Pretty unusual, very hard, and maybe you could say impossible. So I came up with a concept when they build a massive plant, sometimes the size of Manhattan. Think of that. The size of Manhattan, these plants are the big. I've never seen anything like it, actually. Nobody has. There's never been anything like it. But I let them build their own electricity generating plants with it. So they're building their own electric. They're sort of becoming an
green
producing company in addition to all of the other things that they produce.
Shit, that works.
Information. And
You're gonna make me have to remember what green meant.
What they're able to do is start immediately. We're giving them very fast permits. We're no longer having them wait for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years prior to rejection. They'd go 15 years and then they'd get a vote, a rejection. And by that time, their concepts were old and obsolete anyway. So, it's terrible. And we're getting it done rapidly, literally rapidly. And they're coming up with electric generating plants, the likes of which
Looks pretty
nobody's
split.
seen. The companies are standing.
Got some from all over.
Do electricity and create power. Power companies, they've never seen anything like it because we have a level of genius, a level of people that are designing things that nobody's ever seen before. That produces vast amounts of
I can't turn the volume up too much. He'll be
and if they have extra
overpowering me.
electricity, they sell it back into the grid. So they really
Dr. Rig, look at this
it's
drama
really
frog.
amazing.
Bro,
And
come
a
over
lot
to
of people
YouTube and watch
start
the
building
chat.
immediately.
They're
They can
hilarious
blame
over
the
here.
government. They won't blame me because I didn't
You
know
guys
this
aren't
was
you guys aren't
200
as shark hungry like
years old.
YouTube chat over
So
on
we have more
Twitch.
people now working than at any time in the history of our country. We've sort of just begun. It's hard to believe, actually, if you knew where we were 2 years ago. All of this is incredible news for Americans and for nations around the globe, and it is for South Korea because we're partners. We're serious partners. We're wedded, and we have a very special relationship. a special
Steffa
bond.
said, "Hey
We're
Rick,
working
maybe
with
if you knew how
on
tariffs
shipbuilding,
work."
where you're going to come in. We were the number one in the world during World War II. We produced a ship a day. Can you believe it? tankers and freighters and this, a ship a day. And today we're not really building ships, and we're going to start.
Who the fuck's sailing places, bro? This isn't One
Very
Piece.
thriving shipbuilding industry, and we're working it with South Korea very much so. In fact, some of the people in this room, they bought the Philadelphia shipyard. I think it's going to be one of the most successful yards in the world, anywhere in the world. It's great. Known for incredible production years ago, and sort of through bad management or bad thinking by people that were prior to me. I mean, you have to blame the president. You can give the president credit or blame the president, but I blame the president. They allowed the shipbuilding industry to go away, essentially, in our country. We're going to bring it back very, very powerfully. When America thrives, our partners thrive, and our alliances thrive with all of the countries. The Indo-Pacific.
If we're thriving, can our government stop being shut down?
The entire world becomes safer and wealthy and greater than ever before.
Can our Walmart stop leaking Riftbound early?
We solved a lot of wars and a lot of problems.
And not in my
that's
town?
all good for all of us. The extraordinary American turnaround that I've just described has been achieved not by just continuing business as usual.
What's the
back
flag
in
on the
Washington.
left? It's South Korea.
I didn't win the election, and we won it in a landslide. We won by tremendous numbers. I had a whole thing too big, you have to say, too big to rig. We didn't want any rigging. We had these great polls going in. I said, don't believe the polls. Pretend we're 1 point down. Always assume we're 1 point down, and everybody voted. We won in a landslide. We won all 7 swing states. You have to win the swing states. And we won all 7, which is something that rarely happens.
Steph, are you that mad that I won't turn the volume up?
We won everything you can win. The Electoral College by a tremendous amount. We won in counties. They have counties, thousands of counties. And we were 2,700 compared to 525 actually. So think of that. We were 2,750 compared to 525, and that's why the map shows all red. Red being Republican, not something else. Red being Republican. Only a few people understand that one. My administration has rejected the old model of incompetent government that punished success and rewarded failure and made building anything almost impossible. When you come into our country, and many of you are doing that, but when you come into America, you're going to get service like you've never seen before. Quick permits, and we want safety, we want great environmental, we want everything good, but it's going to go quickly. We're rewarding those who build and create and hire and invest in the USA, and we're making America the best place on earth to do business, and that's what it's become very quickly. We have
Very
some
expensive
wonderful
place to
people.
do
Lee Zeldin,
business, I hear,
environmentally, is incredible.
with these tariffs.
He gets the right result quickly, and he makes sure that people do the right thing. But we will have the best.
Don't be
tax
rude.
rates,
Yo,
the lowest
Nico, thank
energy
you for the
costs.
sub
We
on
have the
YouTube.
lowest
Welcome
energy. We
in.
have tremendous amounts of energy, more than anybody else. We have the most oil and gas and coal, more than any other nation on earth. So that's a big advantage that we have over others. We have the lowest regulatory burden. In my first term, we cut more regulations than any other administration in history, and we're going to do about the same level right now or more if we can.
I don't know if it's placed prominently. I mean, the American flag one's placed right next to it.
And for decades before
Standing in the middle of both of them.
was run by legions of bureaucrats who were always
He's in
looking
South
for a
Korea.
reason to say no. Why? How can we say no? They wanted to say no. They thought that was their job, and it's really just the opposite. We work to say yes. So now we have a president in the White House who cuts through the red tape and excuses. We don't stand for excuses, and says yes to big ideas and bold initiatives and grand ambitions so that America can have great industries, great dreams, and to be the greatest nation on earth, which is where we are now, actually, in a very short period of time.
That is absolutely
We're
incorrect, Steph.
rebuilding things that are incredible. We have the strongest military in the world. We have the best equipment.
We're only
We have
smoking
the best
legality here.
manufacturers of equipment. And South Korea is buying a lot of
I feel bad for you if it's not
weapons.
legal in your
We
state.
make the best. We have the planes and the
I remember those days.
everything other than ships, so we'll be there very shortly with ships too. But the only reason it's not ships, because I don't know, for some reason they stopped doing that. I guess they went on to other businesses, but there's some basics in life, and one of the things you need is ships. I always say you need steel, you need aluminum, you need this. There are things you don't need. A lot of things that are a country doesn't need them, but things you need steel. Got to have steel, and we're redoing our steel, and some of the people in this room are very involved in that. We're redoing our industry. We're starting to produce large amounts of steel, massive amounts of steel. We'll be right at the top in a very short period of time. The mills are opening again, and they're opening up big. And again, it's national security, and it's because of tariffs. We're reclaiming our heritage as
I don't think you know what you're talking about, Steph. You obviously don't know weed laws.
But we're really doing it again, but we're doing it even better than we did the first time, which is the first couple of 100 years.
And you're obviously new to the channel. If you think this is my first time, maybe you should go take a peek at the content. Just take a look. Go take a look at the channel.
Law. It was very important. I went into the archives. We looked at every possible thing you could look at, and I signed into law the largest tax cuts in American history. And as you remember, in my first term, we cut taxes from 39% down to 21%. And now we've done even better than that, putting more money in the pockets of American families that make up the largest consumer market on
Not
earth.
currently with the shutdown, I would say.
Manufacturers
Hella
like those in this
donate.
room are taxed
Hella
by
donate. Thank you for the sub on
100%
YouTube. Welcome in.
expensing for all new factories, plants, and equipment. So that means you can write everything off in the first year. So that's like we had in the first, except this goes for a period of 10 years.
I'm ready to
Whereas
see you
the
hella
other was
donate.
over a much shorter period of time. And I actually think that we had such tremendous success. I always said that was the single most important thing, the expensing, the one-year expensing. Upon taking office, I signed executive orders that require that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations have to be eliminated. I did that in the first term, too, and it worked. So if you want a new regulation, you have to get rid of 10, and already we're exceeding that limit, reaching closer to 30 to 1. Our people have
You
done
already
that,
know
our
it, Amy.
secretaries and other
You
people
already
in the
know it.
administration. So we've been actually at a level where we sign in a new regulation, they get rid of 30 older. We're sort of cleaning up the books because many of these regulations are obsolete. They don't.
You guys already know, if you're not new here, I'm not a political channel. I just think of everyone that lives in America. And heck, even if you don't, maybe you want to know what's going on. I need to keep up with where I'm living.
Projects. It used to take decades for
Just know what's happening, you know? Watch with you guys, it's more fun.
That will take, generally speaking, less than 28 days. In addition, across government, we're guaranteeing a rapid and expedited regulatory review for all new projects in the United States, and that's worth billions and billions of dollars to industry. You spent more money on trying to get something approved than you do in building the plant itself. You know, in Louisiana, my first term, there were 2 plants, and one was financed by a tremendous group of Japanese investors, and it was about $16 billion. LNG plants. Another one was financed by people from South Korea and others. LNG, both have a massive LNG. They were in the review process. One was 15 years, one was 16 or 17 years, and they were then told, forget it, we're not going to get it approved. So I came into government, I heard about it, and I love Louisiana. We did very well there. We did well in just about all the states, but we did really well in Louisiana. And so I got involved. The one plant that was in for almost 15 years, I got it approved in one day. One day. In fact, when we called the people to say that they got approved, they didn't know what the hell we were talking about. They said, you got it approved. We sort of gave up on it. I said, no, you don't have to give up. We got it approved.
Trying the best we can. I don't trust the Kool-Aid or the water. That's smart.
It took me 1 week. And they got approved, and they got built. They're massive plants, and they're doing unbelievably. They're like setting records. LNG, big. It's like the Empire State Building lying on its side. And all I know is, I looked at it. I said, what kind of a building is that? All it's got is pipes going.
Don't be rude.
I never saw anything like it. But whatever.
DeRoju, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in.
They've been very, very
Everybody make sure you
successful.
double tap your screens. If you want to show support, you can super chat. If you want to play media, you can donate through Streamlabs. Should be in the description. Go crazy.
Shrunk the size of government for the first time in many years since January. 100,000 bureaucrats have left the federal payroll. You've probably seen that. So we're creating real jobs. We're getting rid of wasteful jobs. Government spending is down 2.5% this quarter compared to 1 year ago. It was going through the roof.
We're not spending anything while we're shut down.
And in stark contrast to 4 years ago. I mean, if you look, 100% of all new jobs created in America under my administration have been created by the private sector. Think of that. The government created no new jobs. The private sector created the record number of jobs that we're talking about. That's a country. That's really a success. It's easy to create government jobs. I could say, add a lot of people to your payrolls. I can fake up the numbers if I want, but that's not the way you build a great country. You don't do that here. And that's not the way, but it's a good way to show good numbers, I'll tell you. You just tell everybody, hire a lot of people. That's what they used to do under the Biden administration, under Barack Hussein Obama. They'd say, hire a lot of people so we can make our numbers look good. I do the opposite. And we have real numbers. These are real numbers. There's truly no better time to invest in the USA. The results speak for themselves. Since the election, TSMC has pledged to invest $100 billion in the United States. So they're coming in from Taiwan. We have tremendous numbers of companies coming from Taiwan and building in the U.S. Apple, $600 billion investment. Hyundai, $26 billion. Micron, $200 billion. SoftBank, OpenAI, and Oracle, over $500 billion. Amazon, $35 billion. Pfizer, $70 billion. Jera, $200 billion. Google, $25 billion. NVIDIA, $500 billion. Genentech, $50 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $57 billion. We're bringing back all of our pharmaceutical business. IBM, $150 billion. AstraZeneca, $50 billion, among many others, many others. Too many to talk about. But one of the most significant factors in this remarkable surge of new investment has been my transformation of trade policy. 8 years ago, I came to this very summit. I was here. Does anybody remember? I don't know. I remember. Does anybody remember what I said? Yeah, it is.
Wasn't covering that.
It must have been a great speech. 3 people. It's not too many people. But there's no reason to, because you saw whatever I said, I did. And for the first time, I laid out the principle that economic security is national security. Economic security, that's for South Korea, that's for any country. But economic security is, in fact, national security. I made the case that the global trading system was broken and in urgent need of reform, had to be fixed. The system had been exploited by countries that broke the rules at the expense of countries that followed the rules to a T, and asked the nations of APEC to be our partners in making the system fair and more sustainable for all of us, and we all work together, the APEC nations. 8 years later, as I'm back here in Asia, and I'm pleased to say that the positive vision for revolutionary reform I laid out, it seems like a long time ago, is now a reality. What really seems amazing is that we did all these things. We stopped a lot of wars. We did so many different things, made our country strong. Thank you. Thank you. And the campaign seemed like so long ago, and I was reading something today in one of the journals, and they said, can you believe it? 1 year ago, I was campaigning to win. Think of that. It was about a week. In a week, it'll be November 5th. And November 5th was the election. I said, can you imagine that? Here I am.
Don't be
We've done
rude.
so many different things.
Eager, thank you for the sub on YouTube, and
militarily,
Susanna, thank you for the
peace-wise,
sub on
peace through
YouTube. Welcome in.
strength. And yet, 1 year ago, it's not long ago.
Make sure you double
I was
tap those
campaigning.
screens.
I was campaigning.
Let's get
We
these
didn't
people
win.
in here to see
We were
this.
campaigning,
Don't
and
be
then we had
rude.
the
Whatever
election.
this
We had a
is.
great election, and the spirit in our country is like incredible.
I don't know
If you
what you guys
compare
are talking
that,
about in
we
these
lost a lot of
comments.
spirit in our country. Our country is depressed.
Isn't South Korea not going back to
But
America?
around the world, we're signing one trade deal after another to
What?
balance our relationships on the basis of reciprocity. Very important word. On this trip alone, I've signed groundbreaking agreements with Malaysia, Cambodia, Japan. Our deal with the Republic of Korea will be finalized very soon, like moments or very shortly thereafter. These agreements will be incredible victories for all of us, because
Why y'all keep saying hamburger, bro? What are we talking about hamburgers for? I'm so hungry. Can we not?
Probably you know that
Bro, I'm starving.
President Xi of China is coming tomorrow here, and we're going to be, I hope, making a deal. I think we're going to have a deal. I think it'll be a good deal for both. And that's really a great result. You know, that's better than fighting and going through all sorts of problems and, you know, no reason for it. I think it's going to be a great deal for both, so I'll be meeting him tomorrow. A lot of people are interested. They're also interested in what we're doing, but they're interested in that. I can tell you a lot. The world is watching.
Trump for
And I
Mount
think we'll have
Rushmore.
something that's very exciting for
Hey
everybody.
yo,
And
slow
that's
our
also
roll.
good for South Korea. That's good for, it's good for all nations. We're ending gaping trade deficits, unfair trade barriers to market access, insecure supply chains, weak, pathetic supply chains, and much, much more. We had such bad supply chains under the last
Appreciate that, Rick.
administration. It was embarrassing. And we're entering a new era of trade that truly works for both sides. Got to work for everybody. You know, deals have to be good for everybody. I've heard that all the time, and I never really believed it, I'll be honest. I said, if you make a great deal. The best deals are deals that work for everybody, especially when you're talking about nations. You know, when you're talking about nations, it really is a little bit different than you're doing a business deal and you want to just rip their hearts out, right? These guys know what I mean. They ripped out so many hearts. But when you have nations, it's a little bit different, you know? You gotta all balance out a little bit. When I announced reciprocal tariffs last April, some people thought it was wonderful, and
I made
others
spaghetti
really
and
weren't
homemade
so
Texas
sure. They weren't sure.
toast,
They didn't
all
understand
organic.
Tariffs, because tariffs were used against us.
Guys,
We didn't use tariffs stupidly.
oh, I'm
And we do
starving.
now. National security. This week we proved once and for all that few critics, there were no critics left. People, the only critics are people that took advantage of us for
I gotta get through
many
the stream
years, and
before I
now
can eat.
they're not able to do that. The deals we're signing with our friends and partners are making our alliances closer and stronger than ever before. They respect us because it was so foolish. The people that ran our country were so foolish. With these agreements, our nations will extend our vital security alliances into the realm of economic security for the first time ever. We're forging new partnerships on strategically important industries like shipbuilding, energy, semiconductors, critical minerals, and, very important pharmaceuticals. We learned that during COVID. We had to rely on other countries to give us pharmaceuticals.
I believe
you can't
so.
do that. You have to, certain industries you want to have there. You want to have your medicines made ideally in your own country. Many of our agreements also include deepening collaboration of industries of the future, such as nuclear, quantum, artificial intelligence, where America is number one by a lot. Actually, we're really number one by a lot. We're number one in military consequence. We're number one in military in the quality of the weapons. That's why everyone wants to buy for us. I'll tell you what, we have a long lead on is submarines, nuclear submarines. We are so far advanced that by perhaps 20, 25 years. We're 25 years ahead of any competition. And not only are the tariffs strengthening our alliances, they're also bringing peace to the world. On Sunday in Malaysia, we signed the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accords, ending forever the
What
war
a
between
transition.
Cambodia and Thailand. Thank you.
What a transition.
Thank you.
Thank you. He doesn't
It's
breathe. He just
interesting.
did.
We were
First
making
time, actually.
trade deals with Cambodia and with Thailand, and I sort of watch what I do. I don't go to the beach and sleep all day. I like to watch. And I see Cambodia,
I like to
Thailand,
watch.
among many other nations.
That's
and
tough, brother.
This is true for numerous other deals, too. But I see Cambodia, Thailand, and I read a front-page story about the fact that there were thousands of dead people along the border. And they fought for a long time. And I said, wait a minute, we're making deals? And they're starting a war? They were just starting, and it was vicious. Thousands of people were killed along the border. Their two borders. And I said, let's call the head. I didn't know the heads of either one. I called them. They were both great people and sort of reasonable. I said, listen, you want a trade deal? We're not going to make a deal with you if you're going to be in war. Then I called Cambodia. I called Thailand. I called Cambodia, back and forth. And after about 2 days, we ended up with the help of Malaysia. Malaysia was like a mediator. We used a beautiful facility in Malaysia because it was too hot. And I don't mean hot weather-wise. I mean it was hot. It was too hot.
Don't be rude.
Sandra, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome
Malaysia
in.
was fantastic, and they helped implement it. The Prime Minister was great.
Thank you guys for all the subs. We're on the way to
And,
14K
within 2 days,
on
we signed
YouTube.
the deal, and
Rocking
Two
steady.
people came in, they were like best friends. It was a beautiful thing to see. We saved, probably millions of lives. They've had a tempestuous relationship for, I said, for how many years? 500 years. I said, that's a long time. That's a long time. But we think this is going to be, hopefully,
Did I
use
just
the
enter
word
the Matrix?
everlasting,
What
same
just
thing in
happened?
the Middle East. We hope it's going to be everlasting peace. They've never had peace. They've 3,000 years, and we signed in the Middle East. But I've ended 8 wars in 8 months, and in many instances, trade has played a big part in getting those wars ended. On top of it all, tariffs now projected to reduce our deficit by $4 trillion over the next 10 years, and I think actually much more than that. That's national security, because you can't have deficits and you can't have debt all over the place, and stops inflation and strengthening the dollar and ultimately balancing our federal budget, which I think we're going to do very quickly, only because of our policy of fair tariffs. And for any company that does not wish to pay the tariff, I say, you could build your factory in America. If you build your factory in America, there is zero tariffs. But, again, going
Don't
back
be
to
rude.
the wars, it's so
Peg,
important.
thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome
If you
in.
look at India and
Milan.
Pakistan. So I'm doing a trade deal with India, and I have great respect and love, as you know, for Prime Minister Modi. We have a great
Is that
relationship.
a trick name? I can't tell.
Likewise, the Prime Minister of Pakistan is a great guy, and the Field Marshal. They have a Field Marshal. You know why he's a Field Marshal? He's a great fighter. He really is. He's a great guy, too. And so I know them all. And I'm reading that 7 planes were shot down. They're going at it, and they're really starting to go. And it's a big thing. These are 2 nuclear nations, and they're really going at it. And I called Prime Minister Modi. I said, we can't make a trade deal with you. No, we must make a trade deal. I said, no, we can't. You're starting a war with Pakistan. We're not going to do it. And then I called Pakistan. I said, we're not going to do trade with you because you're fighting with India. And, 2 nuclear nations. And they said, no, you should let us fight. They both said that. They're warring. They're strong people, I'll tell you what.
You should let us fight. Sage, you're looking for group? I'll be back to Riftbound in a minute. Let me finish this politics stream. We don't got too much longer on it. Don't worry, I'll be back.
But after a little while, and they're good people, and after literally 2 days, they called up and they said, we understand, and they stopped fighting. How is that? Isn't that amazing? Now,
We're just doing a little bit of an update hour.
I don't think so.
Yeah, 43 minutes.
Most
Not really
people
an
wouldn't
hour.
have thought of it, but,
We're almost through it.
They wouldn't have thought of it. No, but here we are. We're doing deals. So you add an extra sentence, and you say you have to stop shooting at each other. 7 planes were shot down. You have to stop the war. And they stopped the war. And if it weren't for the tariffs, I said I was going to put 250% tariffs on each country, which means that you'll never do business. In other words, there's nothing you can sell for 250%. That means that's a nice way of saying we don't want to do business with you. You don't have to say that, because that's a nasty, we don't want to do business. No. You say we're going to put 250% tariffs if you don't stop the war. And they understood that, and within 48 hours, we had no war, no people killed. I mean, it's makes me feel so good. It's we saved millions and millions of lives with all of them. Azerbaijan. If you look at just take a look at that one. That was going on for, I think, 38 years, right? And President Putin called me. He said, "It's amazing. It's amazing. We couldn't get that war stopped. 38 years it went on, millions of people killed, and we got it done." And the 2 countries came in, and they were in the White House, and they started off here. And they got closer. After an hour, they were hugging each other in peace. It was amazing, actually. It was beautiful to see 2 very good countries, 2 very good leaders. One was there for 22 years, one was there for 7. And they both said, my entire political life, all I did was shoot people on the other side. And we got it closed up. And we did that 8 times. The only one I didn't do is Russia, Ukraine, but that'll get done too. That'll get done. I thought that was going to be an easy one because of my relationship with President Putin. He turned out to be a little different, but I think it'll get done. It's would have never started if I were president. That war would have never, ever started. So we've used trade to create peace in a lot of different locations. We also solved the war in Africa, Congo, Republic of Congo, and Rwanda. That was much smaller to do with
We've heard
faith,
that
more to do with common
umpteenth
sense.
amount of
They were fighting
times.
for years. 10 million people were dead, and we got that one done too. So we did a lot of them. We did 8 in 8 months. And I think the other one's going to come along. I really think so. I thought that would have been one of the easier. Who would have thought we created peace in the Middle East but didn't get Russia and Ukraine? Because peace in the Middle East was undoable. They're looking, they're shaking their heads. It was undoable. We got it done. 3,000 years, okay? They never had peace. They never had anything like it. And we have all countries signed up, and the level of spirit and everything. I think it's going to hold for a long time, hopefully forever. Hopefully that's an everlasting one, too. So in conclusion, at some point in your careers, every great business person and CEO in this room today has faced critics who said reform, innovation, and bold action would only lead to a total disaster, but none of us would be here if we had listened to the small minds with no vision. These are small minds with no vision. They had no understanding of success. They had no understanding of life and death. True success comes from having the confidence and the courage to prove the doubters wrong. And oftentimes you'll go the opposite way of almost everybody, and you'll be the one that's right, and the others will be the one that's wrong. And that's where you have your greatest successes. And that's what America and our Indo-Pacific partners really are doing this week, and what our businesses and entrepreneurs do each and every day. That's what you do, the most successful people in the world. Together, we're solving the challenges that no one before us has ever been able to solve, and we're forging a free and open Indo-Pacific, and for all of the people, we're creating a future of dignity and security, prosperity and pride. From the rolling hills of San Francisco to the gleaming streets of Seoul, from the bustling factories of Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo,
to the bright lights
Ohio.
of Tokyo, from Pittsburgh to Palawan, from Boston to Bangkok, from Detroit to Da Nang, and from Cleveland to right here in Gwangju. Nice place. Did I do good with that one? Did I do okay?
Gwangju.
Gwangju. Good, beautiful place, by the way. We're strengthening old friendships, forging new bonds, building new factories, pioneering new industries, and creating a dramatically better world for our children and for generations to come. Together we will build a future of strong, independent nations on both sides of the vast ocean, joined by our common interests, united by common values, and reaching constantly toward a richer, safer, and more peaceful Pacific with fairness, persistence, and common sense. That's such an important 2 words. We will build together, we will trade together, we will prosper together, we will thrive together, and above all, we will win together like never before. We're going to have an incredible relationship together for generations to come. And I just want to thank everybody in the room. I know so many of you. You're incredible people. God bless you. God bless
All right,
the
I think
nations
that's
of
it.
this great region, and God bless America. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, that was all of his remarks. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's all we have planned for our update hour today. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Very interesting. We'll have to keep up to date on this. Spread some love.